Wow. What's up, Dan? How you doing?
Another week, another wonderful week.
It's supposed to be another day, another dollar.
Yeah, I know. But it's been a week since we've been here. So that's why I start with another week. I really got to come up with something that goes and rhymes with W, but I'm not sure. Another week, another
Wage.
yeah, it doesn't work. Something. Hey, Jack the Cowboy, if you don't like it, you can fuck right off, all right?
Damn.
Mike from PA Streaming, you can go check that out. Go.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Okay.
Careful. This is a big one, okay?
All right.
Do you like Indian food?
Yes.
Have you been to a decent amount of Indian restaurants?
Yeah.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Just curious.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Have you ever been at an Indian restaurant and seen somebody dig into their dish of rice with their hands and eat like that?
Eat like what?
With their
well,
hands?
first off, with their hands, no.
Are you sure? You've never seen anybody eat rice with their hands before?
I mean, I'm not going to India. I go to Indian restaurants.
Never?
No.
Nowhere in the U.S. You've never, in
No.
Israel or any other place, you've never seen somebody eat rice with their hands before?
Falafel,
Sure.
tacos, burritos, corn,
Okay.
rice.
Just curious. All right.
No.
All right. Just curious.
I feel like if I was at a restaurant and someone was eating rice with their hands, I'd be like, I'm in not the restaurant that I was supposed to be in.
Okay. My subreddit is going crazy because the Mamdani guy apparently like eats, but he's like in public like eating. I thought it was like Chipotle or something. I don't know, but he's like eating rice with his hands. I'm like, okay.
That's really gross.
Well, it's in the United States is culturally just not kind of what we do. And I said something as much. I was like, oh, it's kind of weird. I don't know why you would, whatever. And my whole subreddit was like, actually, everywhere Indians are always eating with their fucking. And it's like, I love Indian food. I've been to a lot of Indian restaurants.
Yeah, I have too.
In like 5 different countries.
I went
and
to
I've never in my life seen somebody reach into
oh, wait, you eat the garlic naan with your
Yeah,
hands?
but that's not what we're talking about.
And the crispy.
It's not mimosa. Samosa, whatever the fried.
That too also.
Yeah.
But then there's like this. It's like super thin, like it's like papery. Papadum, yeah, and it goes with that green mint chutney.
Oh, is that the stuff that like crunches if you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's good too. A little bit spicy. I like it a little spicy. But anyways, yeah, that's completely correct. I mean, maybe if you went to India, they would do it. Fucked if I know. But as I said, if I saw that here, like if I went to an Indian restaurant and everyone was eating with their hands, like rice, that would be super weird. I
Yeah.
feel like it's also probably extremely performative from him to do that.
Maybe. I'm trying to be charitable, but
Why be charitable? Why not just say your fucking opinion? I'm done being charitable.
True.
I'll just say what I'm
it
thinking.
probably is performative.
Of
Yeah.
course it's
It's
performative.
performative. Yeah. No, it is. It probably is. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want me to say?
I don't know. Because now people are like, you eat sandwiches with your hands. Well, it's different.
It is different. You have to.
2, you're like, it's a cultural thing. Like culturally, you would expect to eat
Yeah.
a sandwich with your
Like
hand.
a good example of this is bidets, right? In Tokyo, in Japan, like everyone has bidets basically. But if you went to someone's house and you saw that they had a bidet, you'd be like, "There's something wrong with this motherfucker. Does he have ass cancer or something?" Because it's so uncommon here,
Sure.
and that's fine. It is uncommon here. Why you guys? Do you see this? Do you see this shit right here? The question mark's wrong.
It's just.
Do you think these are people that just never leave their house?
No, it's people who are trying to like actually use so hard because like Gen Z and some millennials have like gotten woke to bidets, so they're like, oh, actually everybody has it. But it's like a few people do now. They're getting more popular in the United States, but more often than
What
not,
percent of houses do you think have them?
my guess would be less than 5%.
I would say less than 1%.
Maybe that could be the case.
Yeah, like households, I guess, because that would include apartments and shit. Like these are just people lying. This should also only be a poll for people in the United States.
Well, Europe should be sleeping now.
Yeah, I suppose so. Except for like real. Well, no, they could be like some degens out there. Oh,
I have never in my life seen anybody in the U.S. eat rice with their hands, and I'm tired of my subreddit gaslighting me and my chat gaslighting me.
like
otherwise.
maybe sushi is kind of eating.
God,
rice
why
with
would
your
you
hands?
even? I would ban you if you were a chatter making that fucking retarded comment.
I'm just
We're
trying to
clearly
be as
not
charitable.
talking about sushi.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to be as charitable as possible. Rice balls. It's called eracine or something like that.
Every culture has their own, but yeah, you eat that with your hands for sure. Yeah.
Those are like Spanish dishes.
What are
They're
the ones? Oh my god, dude! There was this place near me in Glendale that
probably
did.
really good rice balls, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like Korean or Japanese or something. But they wrapped them in seaweed. Oh my god, these were so fucking good.
Am I even spelling this right? Rice Oh, I think I am. Arracini. These things. Delicious rice balls. This?
Okay, well, anything that looks like that is, of course, going to be eaten with your hands.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could use a fork. You don't have to use your hands.
Sure.
All right. Well, let's get into it, I suppose. So, man, do we start right at the top? We do. Hi, I'm Sergeant Balls, and I'm reporting for duty. I don't get it. Why is this worthy of being...
Hold on. Dan, you said corn with hands was fine. Did you mean corn on the cob or off the cob?
On the cob.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
Wait, there's no way that
chatters.
someone is saying that.
I don't know, man.
Why?
I don't know.
Do you think that it's just that there's... Okay, sometimes people are like, listen, Destiny's community, they're dangerous. They're doxers, they're swatters, they're militant, they will find you, they'll do all this crazy shit, and then you actually come in here and it's like a bunch of autistic people arguing about if you eat rice with your hands or if fucking Agent K really gave a shit or not. And you're like, hey, can you guys go do this? And then they just don't do anything. They're fucking... I expect more, but then, like, how can they be so stupid? I don't know. Okay.
Wait, so you guys would eat popcorn, but not like dry, loose corn? If there was a snack of like dry, loose corn, I guess we probably would.
There
but
is a snack of dry, well, not dry loose corn.
Like some kind of like trail mix-ish type thing, I guess.
Yeah,
like
it has to be dry.
Seeds or something.
If there's any
like
moisture is like, it's got to be, you can't have loose items that are moisture. I mean grapes, I guess. Fuck, I don't know. I think it's just called, I don't give a shit.
Grapes shouldn't be like moist.
They would be moist.
They're wet. But I think that's different. Like wet, like water is like you can wash it off with like a paper towel. It's like water. It disappears.
It's sticky then.
But that, yes, it's different
or
than
oily.
Like, yeah, like those are two different
But then
things.
again, we eat fried chicken. I don't know.
We do. Somebody was trying to bring up like wings as a counterexample, but I think that the difference is that like when you go to eat wings, it's like explicitly
You got like an item.
a messy thing. Like you would never be walking around in public eating like sauce drenched. You would be a disaster. It would be crazy.
That is true. It would be not good. All right, let's see what this is. Hey, by the way, check this out. Look what I got. I don't know if the camera is here. Look. Yeah, no more Grandpa Desk for me. Now I got the Grandpa Trackball.
Real quick, before we do this, I just want to watch it. Look at the Mamdani rice eating. I want to see it. Fuck
Oh my
it.
God.
It started with a seemingly racist tweet and has snowballed into an all-out culture
Well, the
war.
issue is that, pause for a second.
Pause.
You know, is that 95% of the conservatives critiquing him probably actually are just doing it because they're fucking racist. Like, that's probably true, right? It is.
Yeah. Okay.
Sitting U.S. congressman just told an Indian origin mayoral candidate.
Like, you see this all the time in the U.S.? Do you see this?
He ate rice with his hands. Believe it or not, this is where we're at in 2025. Zohran Mamdani, born in Uganda, raised in South Africa and the US, son of filmmaker Mir Nair, and now the man who just defeated Andrew Cuomo to become New York City.
How many times have you ever seen somebody?
I feel like if you were this guy's friend, I'd be like, bro, what are you doing?
Not in my subreddit, though. Apparently, my subreddit, like, oh, no, that's actually super.
That's just because
that's actually super common,
they're
actually.
just trying to be fucking woke losers, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, back to the thing.
It's like, oh yeah, they're watching me on camera. Yeah, they're gonna love this. Look at him. He knows.
Raised in South Africa
See, he's like
and
peering
the
at the
US,
camera.
son of
Oh, yeah?
filmmaker
Well, he
Mir
has a mic
Nair,
on. He's
and now
mic'd. It's
the man
literally
who
a video
just
stream,
defeated
right?
Andrew
I bet he doesn't eat rice with his hands when the mic's not on.
I bet if you broke
I bet
into
if
his
we
house,
saw a
he
hidden
would have
video-
the nicest set of forks and spoons.
Not
in
even
his
no
house.
chopsticks. Not that he's Asian, but there wouldn't even be chopsticks.
Well, he kind of is Asian, right?
Well, I guess so.
India counts. If we were in Bongerland, they call
Wait,
him
but didn't
Asian.
you say he was from Uganda and then South Africa? That's what they just said.
They did say that. Wait, why is everybody bringing up Indian then?
Hold on. Let's go.
Wait, why did I bring it? Wait, why are we all talking about Indian?
I don't know. Let's play it again.
candidate to go back to the third world.
He was raised in India.
Because he ate rice with his hands. Believe it or not, this is where we're at in 2025. Zohran Mamdani, born in Uganda, raised in South Africa and the US, son of filmmaker.
I don't hear any India there. Raised in South Africa and the US. Where's the India part of this?
Well, I don't know. Look at his Wikipedia.
You think she's just lying?
Oh wait.
You
Maybe-
never heard of ethnicity? Well, you guys are the ones saying he was raised in India. I was just correcting you because you were wrong.
Are you saying it's not done in India or that it's uncommon? Why would I make any? I've never been to India in my life. Why would I make any statement about what's common or uncommon in India? Have you been to India before?
Nope, never going either. Because they eat rice with their hands. Can't. All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right. What's this?
As you all know, the Mojave Desert is sick. We got mutants out here and kids drinking Nuka-Cola. I'm taking the Nuka-Cola off the shelves, as you all know.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, one more thing, okay?
No, go ahead. What do you want?
Have you've heard of like the vaccines causes autism study and all that and the origination of all that, right?
The study?
Yeah. Or like if you
Oh, you
heard
mean
people
the
that there
fucking
was
ancient history one from the UK or something?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I don't know shit about
You
it.
don't know anything? Okay, so yesterday I decided for the first time, I was like, because the guy that did that study, Dr. Andy Wakefield, was on Michael Knowles' show.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I want to look up this study. So like, in my mind, this study has always been like probably, you know, my guess like they took like 50,000 people and they tried to like do some bad correlation between autism and vaccine rates. That's like my guess, right?
Okay.
This study was a case series where they took 12 kids from families
Wow, 12.
from families that were trying to sue another company that made MMR vaccines. And the lead researcher, Andrew Wakefield, was being paid as an expert witness by the law firm that was trying to do this lawsuit.
Okay.
And they did this, like, 12 kids, they found some inflammation in the bowels or whatever, and they tried to make this argument that it was, in the study itself, they didn't even say in the study that it was caused by the vaccine, but then in press releases after, he kind of tried to make the statement. It's actually dog shit. It's actually crazy.
So who was more at fault? Was it him at fault, or was it the media looking for a sensationalist story?
No, sorry. He made the statements to the press.
Oh, so
He's crazy. But the original study is so flawed and bad and shitty and horrible. And I thought it was like so much more than that. But and he had a patent because he was working and developing an alternate vaccine that just did measles. And so he was saying like we shouldn't be doing combination vaccines. We should be doing singular vaccines. But yeah. Anyway,
So here's the thing. Did he know that he was lying when he did it?
most likely yes, because there was a guy called Robert Deere or something. He reached out to a bunch of parents, and like the data for the study had been kind of like where like a parent was like, oh, I think this like happened like 6 months after they got the vaccine. They showed symptoms, but in the study they listed it as like 1 week after.
So, okay. So from what I would guess is that there's probably like, I think this was like a really big deal. I don't know if it was a big deal in the US, but I think it was a big deal in the UK. There was probably a lot of people that didn't get that vaccine because of this.
There were. It was an outbreak of measles and stuff happening after.
I bet like there. Well, I don't know how often does measles kill? Like how many people died because of this? Is there any way to tell?
I don't remember how many died. I don't know if somebody has a number or a source or whatever. It doesn't kill you that often, but I mean, it's like a lot of hospitalization. And there were kids that did die. It's not a lot, but the problem I think is that like it's such an easily preventable disease. Like the vaccine, I think is like incredibly efficacious, and you just take it and you don't have to worry about it.
I think that like for people like that, you should try them for murder. Right? I think that if you willingly, for certain fields, I think that if you falsify stuff and you realize that like not always, right? I could imagine like, okay, like I've been working on this. I know it works in mice. It works in chimpanzees. It worked in 10 people. It's just this one thing. I don't want to redo the study. I can't get the funding. I'm just going to lie on this one thing so I can go forward. I don't think in that case that you get like the death penalty if something happens. But I think if you see it continue to spiral out of control and you don't say anything like this and you knew the whole time it was bullshit, I think that you should. Like, I'm not saying every case of lying in medical research.
But especially if you're like an expert in the field, like if you're.
But if you go into this and it's like, you said this guy is profiting off this also, then yeah, there should be a international court of killing. And it's like reserve. It's like, what did they do for all the Hitler people after the war?
Nuremberg?
Yeah. There needs to be like an international, like every country every year can elect one person from their country to be sent there. By mass vote, and it needs 90% vote or greater. Okay, and we send them all there, and then they're tried for crimes against humanity. And then I guess the idea is that we get to like discourage really bad behavior because that's not good, you know?
Agreed. I think, wait, you watched that Contagion movie, right?
Yeah, like 4 times. It's awesome.
I feel like that movie is like so on point that if it was released after COVID, it would be insanely fucking cringe.
I feel that
Because
way
it's like trying
about.
so hard to like copy what happened in COVID, but the fact that it came out like 10 or
I feel that
50
way about also Don't Look
the
Up.
Don't Look Up movie. I haven't watched that one, but
You're like that's another one you should really consider. It's not like a good movie, but it's like, holy fuck, this is like insanely accurate.
did you see have you heard about this alligator Alcatraz thing?
I have heard about that. I've commented on a few posts with Hassan saying Kamala would be no different than Trump with that.
It's actually like they would have like the Auschwitz invaders or something. They would have made merch out of the concentration camp shit. 100%.
I don't understand what's going on a little bit with politics right now. I've been trying not to keep up too much because I don't understand. Why is it that some Democrats are going along with this shit?
I don't think they are. What do you mean? Or what's
Like,
what gives you that impression?
didn't Fetterman like vote?
Oh, you always have like weirdos.
Yeah.
It's kind of like saying like wasn't like
Is
Tulsi
Fetterman
Gabbard?
a weirdo? I thought he was like a normal blue dog Democrat, not like
So-
super far.
Fetterman had such a bad stroke that he could like barely speak in one of his debates, but he still managed to win his election. He had
Okay.
that guy. That was the guy who, remember, we knew him for going into Congress with like sweatpants and shit because he was like, I don't believe.
Yeah,
in
yeah, and like
sex,
everyone's
yeah.
like, oh, the decorum is out of. It's all fucked up.
So he's unironically brain damaged. I think it is funny that the Republicans have like brain worms guy, RFK, brain damaged
like
guy.
how are Democrats voting right now on like the big beautiful bill?
It's down party lines. That every Democrat has voted no. It's insane. Yeah.
Okay, so what's gonna? Who did I say this? I said this to someone. I was arguing with someone the other day. I feel like in midterms is when the world is gonna collapse.
Something is going to happen. Yeah.
No, I don't think the results. Like, here's my prediction. I think that what's going to happen, and you've said this many times, and I believe it to be true. I don't think that Republicans turn out if Trump's not on the ticket, despite how much Trump begs and pleads for them. They don't give a fuck. It's Trump they'll care about, and not anything
Which
else.
has already been shown in like special elections and everything else. Yeah.
So I think what's going to happen at midterms is that Democrats are going to have a complete fucking blowout to a level that has never been seen before, surprising people, I would hope. And also, maybe, I don't know what the odds are that they could, I think there's a good chance they can retake the House. Is that accurate? Hold on, let me.
The Senate is really rough. I think retaking the House, I think, is expected at this point, right? Try to look up like a Nate Silver House odds or something.
We don't do Nate Silver anymore.
We don't like him?
We do fucking betting.
Oh, okay. Polymarket.
Or Predict It, the original one.
I don't know. I feel like Polymarket is more reliable now.
Is it?
Yeah, probably.
You know, the problem with this one is that there's not enough money. I feel like people actually try to sway opinion by showing how crazy the betting odds are. Even
They
though
shouldn't be able to do it. Arbitrage should limit a lot of
I like when that happened that on election night with the odds like that for Trump, that shouldn't have been that way. I felt like that was just money trying to prove to people or something. But anyways, Polymarket House Control 2026. Okay. So 75, 25, and then Senate.
My guess for Senate is going to be like 2080.
72%. So let's say there's a world. I know this isn't likely, but I mean, it's 1 in 4 likely, I guess, technically, right? There's a world where Democrats win House and Senate. I think that what happens, first off, my first prediction, and this is, you put this one in the books,
Okay. In the books. It's going in the books.
and there's nothing we're going to be able to do about it, and it's going to fuck everything up.
Okay.
2 weeks before elections, Trump's going to do an executive order because we're at war with fentanyl, saying that the mail voting doesn't count, and they're not going to be able to get to fix it with the Supreme Court in time. And as a result of that, he's going to destroy the elections. He's just going to do executive orders that makes him win, and there won't be enough time to challenge him because everything takes time because everyone else is working within the system and he doesn't have to. Executive order, no mail-in voting. Democrats rush to challenge it. Okay, we're going to hear that in a week. Not good enough. Sorry. Well, okay, we're going to hear it in 4 days. Like, this is the type of shit that's going to happen. And then the Supreme Court says, oh, no, you can't do that, or yes, you can. Regardless, that type of thing will happen. And then even if he'll do another executive order while that one's being challenged for something different, saying that you have to show up with your ID because of the war on fentanyl. Like, that's what's going to happen. So I think, and if that does not happen, let's say hypothetically all the results do show that Democrats win across the board. I think that Trump will basically invalidate those results. And normally I would say that there would be some fucking uprising and people taking to the streets. But unfortunately, and I kind of don't get it, because I feel like all the dudes who have been living their entire life dicks hard out to like go and do a fucking resurrection and take down an oppressive government, like, here's your chance. And now they're like, nah, this is based. I like it. So I think something like that is probably, that's my guess of what's going to happen in that case. I certainly think he'll do EOs before, and
they might try. I think that
there's just not enough time to stop the wheels of motion.
yeah,
like
he
that.
might try, but the problem is even with that wouldn't be enough. I don't think for them to win. Like
In swing states,
they don't give a fuck about. They just don't give a fuck about midterms when Trump is there. They just don't give a fuck. Even if they did manage to discourage some, I don't know. Also, the mail-in voting, even though Republicans lied and made a huge deal about this favoring Democrats and all that, historically, mail-in voting doesn't really favor one party that much over the other. In fact, it used to have a slight edge to Republicans because so many military people would mail-in vote. So I don't even know if it would help them that much. But he might try to do fucky shit. I would say that's retarded and it's not possible. But we no longer have birthright citizenship as the result of an executive order for several years now. So who the fuck knows?
We don't have birthright citizenship right now?
Nope.
So
well, in 27 days, it'll be gone until the courts have fully settled it, which will probably take a decade.
So that means
you should need to have at least one citizen parent to be considered a citizen of the U.S. when you're born here.
right. So basically, no more like hypothetically, like a Chinese couple came here on vacation while they were pregnant and gave birth here.
Nope. Need to be a lawful permanent
Is
resident.
that the
or a
only thing
citizen.
it's stopping?
It's any birthright. You're not considered.
I know that's one part that they hate. They hate that part. The idea that like an illegal immigrant could be here and give birth and then that kid would be a citizen. Is that the main part they're getting rid of, or is there other parts as well?
It's just you no longer are considered a citizen having anything to do with the birthright by soil. Like you have to have
so you have to have an American parent, one or mother or father.
yeah, but that's either a citizen or a green card holder. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, you guys better induce labor. Those guys out there. How long do they have?
I think like 26 days or something. Yeah.
Damn, not good. Yeah. Well, anyways, that's my prediction of what will happen. I think Trump will go fucking crazy with EOs, and they won't. And I think the swing states will be like, oh, we got to follow this EO. Sorry, there's a big no, Democrat sign that's at the front of every election booth now, or some shit that fucking does it. Because it really doesn't take much, right? In some of these swing states to swing it one way or the other. It doesn't. And if he can convince some of those places that are...
Be careful when you say swing state and stuff. Like, you're talking about presidential election stuff where it's really close. Like, the seats in the races for the House and everything, it's a lot different than just looking at the whole state and looking at the swing state closeness for a presidential election.
I think there's probably places that are competitive where he can put his foot on the scale if he wanted to, right?
I don't know.
Well, I mean...
I don't know how much influence he has. Like I said, it just comes down to, like, can he turn his base out for these midterm elections? Like, last time he didn't, right? And when he was president in 2022? Or in 2018, I think. 2019? Was that, like, the blue wave or whatever the big one they called it?
Yeah.
It might have happened in 2022 as well, actually, where did Biden... I think Biden overperformed his midterms as well, right?
I guess we'll just see what the fuck happens.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's get into this.